right, what's up, fam? Continuing with the story. So here we go. So like me and my dude, remember I told you me and my dudes used to play all the time. So now I'm laying in bed, I'm asleep. I feel somebody throw some water in my face. And I'm like, oh, you got me. And I sit up, and when I go to sit up, I feel somebody punch me. I'm like, whoa. So I knew, like, then I started smelling chemicals. And I'm like, oh, I know the play. The play is you throw chemicals in their face, and then you got a knife or a pipe or something, you getting ready to stab them. So when I open my eyes, I look and see where he at. And I see he's on my left, so I roll out of bed on my right. And so when I roll out of bed, I come around and I look because I want to see what kind of weapons that he got in his hand so I can see how to defend myself. And this fool, he just standing there. All he got his hood pulled up over his head, and he got his fist balled up, and he just looking at me. And I'm like, what? Like, man. And so I take off on him, man, and I start beating him again. Like I get him down on the ground, and this time I picked up I had knocked him down, and he was dazed, and I picked up a locker box, and I was finna hit him in the face with the tray out of a locker box. And then the CO came in, and I saw the CO grabbed my shoulder, and I turned and looked, and when he grabbed my shoulder, I saw him pull away. He pulled away my skin, and I was like, what the heck? And then so they got us separated. They got us separated, and so my dude came up, and he was like, Mo, he was like, oh man. And I'm like, what? So I was like, what's going on, man? He was like, oh man, like, dang. And I'm like, what's going on? So Hollywood, the OG Hollywood, he come to me, and he was like, come on, Mo. And he snatched me up, and he take me in the bathroom, and he turned on the utility sink, and he was like, put your face under here. I'm like, what's going on? He said, man, just put your face under here. I'm like, man. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So I'm like, man. So the police was like, hey, you got to bring him out of here. You got to bring him out of here. So he takes me out, and he was like, man. And so as I'm walking, I start feeling this pain, and I'm like, whoa. And then I can't breathe. Like my throat is constricted, and I'm like, I can't breathe. And then I remember going to the CO, and I'm like, what the heck is happening? And then I passed out. Now I was like, man, I woke up. I was in an ambulance, and my face was on fire. Like it was on fire. Like it felt like somebody had. Oh my God, it was on fire, man. My face was on fire. And the ambulance attendant, he had the saline packs, like, you know, the stuff that they hang the saline packs, and he was squeezing it on my face. And as long as he was squeezing that water on my face, that saline solution on my face, it didn't hurt so bad. But when he ran out, when it was empty, and he had to take the time to switch to get another one, in between that time, oh my God, it was painful. I was like, and he was like, listen, we've got a few more, we got 10 more minutes, man, 10 more minutes. And he was like, I'm gonna try to let it out. So like the ride to the hospital was excruciating. Oh my God, it was just so painful. So when I get to the hospital, they ended up giving me some morphine, and I pass out, right? So I wake up, I don't know how much longer, how long later, but they tell me that I got to go through this process or something. They call it like debriding or something. So they used to get me, and they would take me to this room, right? And it had a flat tub, but it was a bed, well, like a table, but it had like a lip about it, about like this much, you know. And they used to put water, and they'd have me lay down in it, and they had my face wrapped up in gauze, right? And they said that, here, you got to take this pill, it's gonna help you forget. And I'm like, what do you mean? And I remember, like, I don't really remember I just remember that they used to have this, they had this little scrub brush, like a little scrub sponge, and it was a sponge type thing, and they would scrub the dead burnt skin off my face every day. They did it twice a day. They would scrub it off my face. And then they would put this cream on my face. I think it's called Silvadine. They would put it on my face, and then they would wrap me back up, and they'd send me back to my room. And I remember they did this for like this was like 3 days. Like 3 days that went by before, because that happened on Sunday. So that happened on Sunday morning. So Sunday morning, Monday morning, Tuesday morning. So Tuesday morning, I was able to, like, I was cognizant enough to get up and move around, because I was at OSU, and OSU is Ohio State University, they got a ward specifically for prisoners. So I was in a secure room, and I was able to get up, you know, and I was like, I wanted to see my face, man. And so I went to the mirror, and I took the gauze off my face. I unwrapped my face, and I looked like something out of a nightmare, like Freddy Krueger type stuff, man. My face was all purple and pink and brown and black, and it was like it was all discolored. My eyebrows were gone. I still don't have eyebrows to this day. They burnt my eyebrows off. My eyelashes, this eye was closed shut. It was like sealed shut. No, it was this eye. It was this eye. It was sealed shut. It was this eye, and like my face and all of this was all swollen. I had burns all down I was like, what the heck? What did he, you know, I'm like, what happened? Like, I don't even know what he threw on me. So long story short is that's how I got burnt. But I found out when I found out what he had mixed boiling water, Magic Shave, a can of Magic Shave, which is like hair removal, and some sugar. He had mixed it all up, threw it in the microwave, and boiled it, and threw it in my face while I was asleep. And when he threw it in my face, I snapped up and inhaled, and it went down my throat, and that's what caused my throat to constrict and caused me to, I couldn't breathe, and I passed out. And I ended up spending 11 days in OSU's burn ward because of that. And it was like, that was crazy. That was just crazy. So I ended up, like, I spent 11 days, and then they brought me back to the prison. And when they brought me back to the prison, they put me in a hole, and I was like, what? And so out of the hole, the window in the hole, I could see the dudes. Like, my block was right across, like right outside the window, and I used to yell to my dudes, hey man, what's going on? And so they called my people. Like, we had emergency contact numbers taped to our beds. That's another story, but we had emergency contact numbers taped to our beds, so in case something happened, you get that number and somebody calls your people. Well, they had called my people, and my people was calling the prison, asking them where I was at, and they ended up coming to get me out of prison. Like, my dad and my grandma, they came straight down to Columbus and was like, hey, we want to see him. And so they rushed me out of the hole, got me dressed, and was like, here, your parents are here to see you. And so yeah, that's how I ended up getting attacked. And so the result of that was, when I came back to the prison, they let me out of the hole, and I came back in the general population. They put me back in the same dorm. I couldn't go to sleep. I just could not sleep. I could not sleep because I was afraid that somebody was going to get me in my sleep. So the only way that I could go to sleep is my dudes, one would sit at one end of the bed, and the other would sit at the head of my bed, you know, and I knew that they was watching me, and I trusted them with my life. And I knew that they would watch me, and I would get a few hours sleep, maybe a couple hours, maybe 3 hours, you know, and then I'd wake up, and then and that's how I got my sleep at night. And I would only get about 3 to 4 hours sleep every day, and I did that for years and years and years. And to this day, I still cannot sleep with the door open. Like, even when every cell that I get in, like, I gotta have my door locked when I'm asleep at night. And if I can't lock it, then I'm gonna rig up something to where I can, like, if you open the door, I'm gonna hear you. But yeah, that's the issue that I got. Like, I suffer. I can't. Like, I'm a real light sleeper, very light. So that's a prison story that you guys wanted, and just part of the old me. I got a lot of stories, man. I've seen a lot of stuff, done a lot of stuff, man. But I give all glory to God, man, because he changed my life, man. He changed my life because I was that rah dude. I was that dude. So with that being said, I hope you liked it. You know what I'm saying? You know, stay tuned for more. But remember, like and subscribe to my channel. Okay? I gotta go. Remember, God loves you, so do I. Peace. One love.